until you faint. But if you don't get up and try to do something, God is not going to put it in your lap.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I want to welcome you all back to another segment of Voices of Vision. I think, what did we do? We did our 19th episode, I think, or 20th. Y'all, I'm a little old, so I forget sometimes. So y'all have to remind me. I just, first of all, I want to thank every last one of you all that have been supporting Voices of Vision, the ones that have been supporting me as well. I'm just grateful, and I pray that when we go into 2021, that this show blows up even bigger. I believe wisdom is power, and sometimes we don't do better because we don't know better. We have all been transparent. I'm so grateful for every last one of my hosts, Rachel Hill, Heidi Nichols, Jocelyn Hurt. It's so funny that all of us stand for the same things, though we may have different perspectives and we give different opinions. Next year's show is going to be bigger, better. We're going to have other guests, and we may even have somebody joining the crew. We'll see. But without further ado, I want to introduce my beautiful co-hosts, Rachel Hill. I be getting you.
Hello.
Hey, I know it's hat day. I just said, well, I should have put my hat on.
The Cavs are playing right now too, so go Cavs.
Look, listen, I root for the Browns and the Cavs. I know some of y'all like, them Browns.
The Browns right now, they dangerous.
Listen. Dangerous. Y'all gonna get dangerous when I move. Ain't that something?
I know. I'm here for every minute of it too.
Listen, if they go to the Super Bowl, I'm coming. I'm serious. Too. Next, I would like to introduce Heidi Nichols. I know she excited. We missed her, honey.
I'm back. I missed y'all so much.
Yeah, we missed you too. We did. Well, look, Rachel went in, honey, last show. She was.
I know, I saw. I do go back and watch all of them, but it's been an intense semester, but feels good to be back.
I know it does. I bet. How is everything going as far as the coronavirus and being in the classroom with your students? How is that dynamic?
I mean, I'm very fortunate. I'm one of the few professors who teaches in person. And so what the students let me know, like I tried to say after Thanksgiving break, we can just meet online and y'all can, they revolted and said, no, absolutely not. We want to be in person. This is the only place we're getting community. Because, I mean, in order to keep them safe, and our campus has been really amazing and we have had very low numbers, but the dining halls are closed. The student centers are closed. All events are virtual. And so they're kept captive in their rooms. And I think that having that space of getting to talk in the classroom is really important. And honestly, I get to feed off their energy. Yeah. So it's been good. I think it's very trying. Every college student enrolled in school right now, I feel for them. They are, they're facing a lot of challenges that those of us who are older, we didn't face this. And sometimes I think we forget about their experiences, their mental wellness. and just need to appreciate that they're rising to the challenge. So it's good.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Miss Jocelyn Hurt. Hey, Rue.
Hello.
How
Hi,
are you?
babe. Hi, Miss Heidi.
Hi. I missed you. Oh, look at you two sparkling. Wait, Rachel, we didn't get the notice.
No, Jocelyn put hers on. I said, ooh, I got a shirt that looked like that. When we went shopping, we got them from the same place. And I just took the tag off this shirt. And wait, it looked like the same exact shirt.
It is.
The same shirt.
You're a copycatter.
I got mine. We got them at the same time.
No, but I was like, ooh. I said, Jocelyn, them eyes look good, how they glittering. I said, I'm going to put mine on like that. It do look like they glitter.
Yes.
That's okay, Heidi.
Blue, yes.
Heidi,
You know what? We didn't need our eyes glitter on their own, Rachel.
We'll break out our 95 field hockey shirts.
Oh,
We do both have them.
Yeah.
oh, Lord, here you go.
Or our reunion shirts.
Oh,
Our Mighty Mighty Raiders.
Jocelyn.
we gonna put on our Cardinal mask.
Yes, and what do we say? Shaw, hi, you.
You know.
What are we supposed to know? What are we supposed to know?
You know we the place to be, Shaw. Hi, we make greatness.
Make it now. That's right. It's the place to be.
Y'all,
What are we supposed to know?
I
That's
miss
what you're
y'all.
supposed to know.
Wow. You know what? I was thinking about, I know that this holiday season has got to be rough for a lot of people. You know, just listening to you talk, Heidi, saying how this has really been a challenge for us. You know, people, we can't go anywhere. You got to stay secluded. If you do go somewhere, in your mind, you're thinking, oh God, I hope I don't have the virus, or I didn't catch it, or I didn't give it to somebody. And it's really been a trying time. It really, really has. And then you have a lot of people that have lost loved ones to the coronavirus. And on behalf of Voices of Vision, we send out our deepest condolences. We send out our prayers for the family, especially at this particular time of year. It's very hard. You know, you deal with a lot of mental illness during this time, a lot of loneliness and a lot of depression. We've said this several times on this show. If you feel like you're at a point where you're going to break, don't be afraid to reach out and say something, y'all. Please get you a person. Me and Jocelyn were just talking about it. You got to have you a person, somebody that you ain't afraid to bear it all to. I mean, somebody you can call and say whatever you want. You got to have you a person. It's so very important. I just wanted to say that our family is still going through with the passing of my nephew. But it's empowering me, and it's making me appreciate life. Appreciate when people say life is short, I look at it different now. Before I was like, yeah, life is short, but I get it now. 18 days taken, you know what I'm saying? In a community of people that look just like him. That's part of me I can't fathom. I can't fathom how you all know, and Rachel, Heidi, you know, Jocelyn, you know, some prestigious neighborhoods, we feel like we can't even walk in them because they're gonna be like, she's Black, what is she doing here?
Right.
It's a shame that I can't walk in a Black neighborhood where people look like me, that know what I feel and understands my pain, will want to harm me as well. So it's almost like, where do we go? I mean, it seems like we're fighting a double whammy battle. We're fighting the battle within ourselves. So we killing one another. We're the only race of people that destroy one another the way we do. And we won't stand on one accord for a good cause. That's a problem for me. But we want to fight external battles, racism and police brutality. None of that's going to change until we change what's going on inside of us. And that's, y'all ask why. What is it? Is it the Jewish that live in Cleveland Heights?
Yep.
Nobody mess with them Jews. No, y'all know I'm not. They don't mess with them. They don't, and they
have their own little community.
Yes.
And they. I'll tell you of this experience one time that I was speaking with a Jewish person, and he mentioned to me that he was from overseas. I can't remember which country he was from, but he was Jewish. And he had to come to the Cleveland Clinic to have surgery. He was in Cleveland Heights, living in this home that the Jews have. They have several homes in throughout that community that if you need to come, should you need shelter, should you need rescue, should you have to stay there, where he was staying there so that he could have this surgery and his family could stay there with him so that while he was having the surgery, they would have somewhere to stay. That was this refuge. Full cupboards filled with food, refrigerator filled with food, all provided by this community. So I say all that to say, and this person, by the way, they did not physically know. They just knew that he was a fellow Jew. He didn't know any of them personally. There was no family relation, just that he was a fellow Jew in need. So I say all that to say, why can't we do that? Why is it that when we're in need, we try to hate on somebody, we find all kind of reasons why we can't assist. We doubt the reason why that person needs the assistance. No, that can't possibly be the reason. He or she must have done something to deserve this position that they're in. Why is it that you can't just say, this person, fellow human being, needs some aid? Beginning, middle, end. That's it.
Exactly. And it's so interesting because we could be doing that as a community, just like it used to be a saying where, and I don't know if you all are familiar with the Easter Stars and the Masons. It used to say a Mason could take a penny and go all the way around the world without spending a dime. Because every time he would run into a Mason, they would say, you can stay at my house. You ain't got to pay nothing. You don't have to worry about it. So my questioning is, what has happened to the women? I'm an Eastern Star. I'm a baby sister to the Masons. So shouldn't I afford the same thing? If I'm in need of help, shouldn't they be? Why do people in help have to go dig for help and try to find somebody? Why is the people that's saying we're here to make a difference, why are we not seeking those people out? Because all of us know when you're up here, it's hard to ask for help. When you're the rock and you're the person that people are used to going, it's hard. Y'all know that because people are so judgmental. Oh, something must have happened. What? It don't matter what you're going through. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you get you back on your feet. I'm not concerned about why you're where you're at, because if I am, then my motive for doing for you is the wrong motive, because it shouldn't make a difference. So what I'm saying, in the season of Christmas, we all know is supposed to be about God and giving. It's not supposed to be about, I can buy this. How about going to somebody in need and saying, I just wanted to help you. You know what? I know you got a big family. I just wanted to send you such as, I wanted to put a turkey on you. We all can use that right now. We can use that love in our life. Just something small. You'd be surprised something so small could change somebody's day. It could be a person that is at their end of their rope that's saying, I'm done today. I'm ready to lose. I'm ready to give it up all. And just something small that you do change their whole trajectory on life. So I'm just asking in the spirit of the holidays, it's hard for everybody, you all. Let's try to exercise some kindness.
And compassion, the desire to alleviate someone else's suffering. And part of it, Nakia, is about us getting back to also seeing each other as fellow humans, truly as fellow humans. We have all, we know that there's been systems in place to try to divide us and conquer us. And when we interact with those structures in the way that they were designed, we're only feeding into the exact system that was meant to actually destroy those of us who are operating within that system. And if we want to resist, then we have to believe that we need to rise to the occasion of seeing each other as humans, seen as somebody that we care about, being willing to step outside of your own. You see this culture of like, I'll take care of my own and that's it. And then how do we define our own versus just our own should be our species. And we're Homo sapiens sapiens. And we need to start being able to stretch out beyond, even when we direly disagree. And the greatest form of compassion we can show is to show that kindness to people that we fundamentally and diametrically disagree with, are not in alignment with, but that compassion.
I have compassion for Trump supporters. Sorry. Do we think that maybe when, Black people are in need, other Black people adopt the attitudes like white supremacy, like I'm not helping them, like you said, being judgmental. What did they do? And that's kind of how white people are with us. Instead of recognizing the racial wealth gap and, the employment gap. And, obviously we were never compensated for the work we did of building this country. How their attitudes towards reparations, you didn't do the work, so you don't deserve anything. Even though we know that we got put in this system in which we're, economically disadvantaged from the go, because we never received the land we were supposed to see. And that's the easiest way to build wealth, is lands. But do you think some Black people adopt that kind of white supremacy attitude when it comes to helping our own and looking down on other Black people?
Absolutely. And I think some of us, we have to be comfortable with feeling like we're up here. So we'll forget when we were down here. So I got to put my nose up. I'm not helping you, Rachel. I mean, I did it on my own. You did it on your own. Come on now, keep it real, because I don't care who you are. Somebody helped you get where you are. Mm-hmm. If you be honest, somebody. And we don't understand. It's almost like, have y'all ever heard that story in the Bible when it talked about this man owed a debt? And he prayed to, he's actually begged the guy, please, I don't have the money right now, please, or whatever it was. I'm paraphrasing. And he said, I'll forgive your debt. And he sent him home. And then a man came to him that owed him a debt, and he off with his head, and I want my money. And just, it's almost like we forget. Yeah. We forget. It's like God sometimes puts people in your path for you to help them, because I do believe when you give it, it comes back. That's why I've always been a giver. I give because I know somewhere, even if it doesn't come back to me, my children or my children's children. And I look, if I see a white person hungry, I'm gonna feed them. If I see a Black person hungry, I'm gonna feed them. If I see a Hispanic person, an Indian person, it don't make a difference. We're all a part of the human race. You hurt, you cry, you have pain, just like me. The thing that bothers me a lot, and this is, I'm gonna steer this into where we're going. What is going on with the protection, the respect, and admiration for Black women? Mm-hmm. I went on the Black law enforcement page, and one of the officers put a video on there, and it was a little boy. I want to say he may have been about 4 years old, and he was punching his mother in the face, and he was, smugging her, and I'm looking like, what in the world? And of course, some people said this is learned behavior. Number one, I don't care whether it's learned behavior or not, it's out of line. And she should have checked it right then and there, because people don't understand, your first people in your life that's authority to you is your parents. And parents, if you can't get your children to respect you, they ain't gonna respect nobody else. You're teaching this young Black little boy that it's cute to put his hands on his mama. So what happens when he meets another little girl at 17, 18 years old, and he start busting her in her face and fighting her? That's not cute. It's not funny. What are we doing? Huh?
What was the mother saying when this was happening?
It was like a joke. But I've seen parents, I don't know if you all, I've seen parents condone that. He hit me, it's funny, or the little kids be cussing, and that's not funny. But then you want to yell and scream when they get in the system.
Right. It starts from that age. That's what people mean when they say it starts from home. It starts at home, and it starts at an early age. And whether it's learned behavior, whether he's seen someone else do it, that's the time to stop it and correct it.
And what do you having this 5-year-old boy around if he's seeing that type of behavior?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, what happens to this young African-American male when he grows up and he sees a woman and maybe a male is jumping on her? Is he gonna do like many males do and turn away?
Right.
How can you be a man? You are a man, you're a protector. And it's funny, Heidi, because I know they're gonna touch on what you said about the equal rights and all this stuff. And to y'all, we'll never be equal to y'all. And y'all know that. Y'all know that. Mm-hmm. We are all built differently. Women are more compassionate. Men, y'all have the strength and the stamina to do stuff. Not saying we're weak, but we're not as strong physically as you all. So you all are meant to be our protectors. It shouldn't make a difference whether I'm your girlfriend, your friend, another woman. It should be something in you that says, my mama's a woman. What you not gonna do is disrespect her. And when you see women working hard, we gotta work harder than the men to get in positions. It's not easy. We are humiliated when we go through it. Because first thing I know, who is she? Oh, Then we become sex objects. Oh, who gonna sleep with her first? I know I've been in a department where the males had a bet on who gonna have sex with me first.
Right.
Instead of saying who gonna take her under our wing and make sure she good and make sure she all right. And then it's like when we get to a certain position, it's like we become a threat to men. Now we become sexualized, or we become, look what she doing, or she late for work, or let me tell you something, women that have been bringing home the bacon, frying it up in the pan, taking care of their men, taking care of the children in the house. We've been doing it all. And y'all know we have. So for me, it's a problem, especially men that are in prominent positions to make change. Yeah. When you all do things to women, and y'all look like us, that's a problem for me. And I'm gonna call a spade a spade. You're running around here crying about what the white man doing to me and the police doing to me. What are you doing to your women? What you sow, so shall you reap. Y'all better wake up. Yes, y'all give us the seed, but we are the givers of life. It comes through us. After you put a baby in me, I can go flush it down the toilet, and I'm not being disrespectful. And no, I don't agree with abortions. That's not on me. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's our choice at that point. So I am a little angry at this video we about to see. I don't know if y'all got a chance to see it, Rachel or Heidi. I like it when y'all don't see it because I like to see y'all's. It's messed up. It's really messed up.
I've only read the article brief. I haven't seen the actual video.
Okay,
I'm not.
Prep it.
Yeah, because y'all go ahead. You keep talking. I'll get it together.
Okay, so I'll prep it then.
No,
so
go ahead.
This particular, we have another, even though there was, thank goodness, she did not lose her life. It is another situation where wrong house, bust in the house.
Oh, yeah, I knew about this.
Yeah, but wrong house, bust in the house, and not using any sort of discernment when it comes to handling this female. You know, no discretion. That's the word I want to use, not discernment, discretion. No discretion was used. Even if she was said perpetrator, you did not give her any discretion. So we're going to view this video and then we're going to comment, and hopefully some of our viewers will chime in.
Yes.
Hear some of your comments tonight, guys.
Yes. Okay. I'm ready. I think I'm ready, y'all. I think I'm ready.
Hi.
Come through AV Club.
I hope this is it. I hope this is it. Is this it? Oh man, I'm watching be the wrong video. Yeah, it's the wrong video. Hold on. I know it's the wrong video.
Wait, pause.
Pause it for a minute, y'all. Give me a minute. Give me a second. Listen.
You went to the email and the link, right? You could see that, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got that part, but I just
want to make sure you saw.
I just want to leave it open because it makes it so much easier for me to. I done made it too big now. And then I got to go back to Zoom. Okay, here we go. Oh man, there you go. Y'all laughing at me. I'm telling y'all, that's okay.
We're being patient. There's no laughing, no judgment.
I promise, listen, I'm gonna let y'all run this show one day. Y'all gonna be like,
no, ma'am.
You're doing a great job. Nakia, you're doing a wonderful job.
Y'all hear this?
Look at Jocelyn. Look, I won't say anything. After running all these classes online, no judgment.
No judgment, because I can't do it. So,
and now it's giving me a problem to share the screen. See, y'all, there's something in the air. Stop live stream. Share screen. There you go. I got it. There we go. All right, ladies, here we go.
There's a story about another bad raid by Chicago police that the city's legal team is trying to stop us from telling you. It involves an innocent woman getting handcuffed, naked, with a dozen male officers watching. Now, she wants you to see the body camera video, but tonight the city went to federal court to try to keep it secret. Here's CBS 2 investigator Dave Savini.
I had just gotten home from work. And when I was undressing, in my bedroom.
It was a cold February night, and Anjanette Young, a social worker, had just finished her shift at the hospital.
You see them running up to the apartment complex with the battering ram in their hand, a crowbar. It was so traumatic to hear the way the thing was hitting the door. And it happened so fast, I didn't have time to put on clothes.
And suddenly, she found herself frozen in fear, completely naked, in a room full of men. 9 body cameras rolling. And you're just standing there.
And I'm just standing there. I mean, terrified, humiliated, not even understanding why in that moment that this is happening to me.
And the first thing police reach for is not clothing, it's handcuffs.
There were big guns and guns with lights and scopes on them, and they were yelling at me, you know, put your hands up, put your hands up.
What are you thinking right now?
I just remember, you know, being so afraid. It's one of those moments where I just felt like that I could have died that night. If I had made one wrong move, I felt like they would have shot me.
All right, I'm gonna let y'all chime in.
What the heck were they even? What was the warrant for?
Wrong house. And
But outside of the wrong house, what was the warrant for?
was it guns and drugs?
I haven't seen any information as to what the real warrant was for, who they were actually looking for, but they were at the wrong house. That was the bottom line.
I'm just even outside of even being at the wrong house, which I'm not sure why we're still at the wrong house. Like, was Breonna Taylor not like enough for everyone to be like, let me double check?
Thank you. Thank you.
What on earth could they have been coming for that required all of that? Not a single knock, and wasn't like they were being quiet. So it's not for a sneak attack. What would have been the difference between knocking and having the place surrounded to like charge in like that? What on earth?
Well, there are certain times when we have a warrant where we're going in, and it's usually we're dealing with persons that may have guns. It's the element of surprise, or so there are circumstances when yes, that works. But this is my question. Number one, if I know that we are staging it where we're going to kick in the door, we gonna know what house we going to.
Right? How are you still going to the wrong house?
How do you go to the wrong house? All of y'all professionals. I'm gonna go back.
Your job.
Professionals. Y'all going to this house. Number one, you can't tell me all of y'all going to this house, and all of a sudden the first person y'all meet is a Black woman and she's naked. Now, I don't know what just happened. Can you guys still see me?
Yeah.
Okay. All of y'all are professionals. I don't know exactly what the warrant entailed, what you were looking for, who you were looking for, but in your mind, we know, we read it over and over again. We make sure we know what we're looking for and who we're looking for. Not one of those officers thought as they go through the house and start clearing the house, ain't nothing in here, that wait a minute, is we at the right house? You didn't stop to think at the end of the day whether you're arresting somebody or not. Is called professional courtesy. This woman, what's she gonna do? Shoot out her boobs?
It's not even professional courtesy. This is just straight. This is your job.
Right.
This is your job.
Exactly.
You got it wrong.
Exactly. So even if you didn't get it wrong, even if she was the person you looking for, you don't put nothing around her. You don't grab something, a sheet. You let her stand in front of all these white males, naked, humiliating her. And my thing, every last police officer should be outraged, white, Black, or indifferent. Because if it would have been 5 Black males walked in there with guns like that and done it to a white female, we'd have a big boom going on.
Oh yeah, it would be a lawsuit happening. It would be it would be just the biggest.
Well, first of all, they wouldn't have got the wrong house.
Mm-hmm.
Say that again, Rach.
They wouldn't have got the wrong house, first and foremost.
Yeah, that's true. That part.
And this is why when people are like, I don't understand why everyone's up in arms about the rulings. I mean, first of all, we know that Breonna Taylor also was not the first person. It was just the most visible case of getting the wrong house. But this is why these court rulings really matter, because what those court rulings and not charging the officers with it, what that ended up communicating is,
It's okay.
you know, we made a boo-boo.
But guess
The
what?
wall mattered more than Breonna Taylor. So then why would anyone even feel that, again, why it matters so much is at the very least, maybe an officer would be like, before we mess this up, let me take a look, even though that should just be a basic job. But at least if there's a ruling that showed that the police officers in Breonna Taylor's case was wrong, maybe people would pause and see that there's consequences for their behavior. Because like Rachel said, if this was a white woman's house, you best be sure either the officers would have been convicted in the original case, or they would have been double checking, because hell would have rained fire on them.
Oh yeah, and the whole community would have been up in arms. And I hate the fact that they take a lot of Black communities, and I think I was talking to Carol about this, and you may have one house of people that sell weed. So now somebody on my street that sell weed, don't act like whites don't sell weed, because they do too. So what we not gonna do, what we gonna call a spade a spade. You have one house on the street that sell weed, everybody else on the street is cool, and they'll call it a drug-related activity area.
Right.
So if you saying, oh yeah, this one on the street, this
last night.
yes. Now, so if I make this, oh yeah, this is drug-related activity area, or yeah, this is the low-income area, or this is, and you make that stigma so negative that when the police come, they don't come with the same respect. They come with, oh, we about to deal with these
animals
drugs, or these this, these that. They don't look at them on the same level. But they not gonna go into a predominantly white community or a prestigious Black community. They be a little leery, like they might know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. But you'll make those type of mistakes in Black neighborhoods, especially middle class or lower class. I got a problem with that. Somewhere there needs to be accountability. As a law enforcement officer, your job is that serious that if you make a mistake, you gotta know that you're gonna feel some, it ain't gonna be no, because just like the woman said, if she would have moved the wrong way, they'd have shot and killed her.
And I was in fear for my life while she was naked.
She was naked. Or if she hearing this banging, I know, not being funny, I don't break the law. Me and my kids in this house sleeping. If I hear somebody boom, boom coming in here, I don't care if you say you the police. I know the police ain't got no business coming in my house. I'm gonna start shooting. Now y'all gonna ring through my house with 30, 40 bullets and kill everybody in my house. And then you gonna say, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. And it's okay. That ain't okay.
In the dead of winter, you notice it was the dead of winter, and they left her there naked because they don't respect us. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out in court, since these federal judgeships have been stacked with young white conservative judges. So it'll be interesting in how the legal process plays out as well.
Yeah. Sean Kennedy said something. Sean said something interesting. He said, being at the wrong house is still a big problem, which one of y'all said it's the truth. You're absolutely right. And then he said, with the law enforcement during search warrants, where is the surveillance? We've been asking that. If you're going into a house, you want to make sure who in that house. If you think it's good, you want to sit back. When you go into a house like that, it's something you going in there for a reason. You don't make a mistake like that.
You've already surveyed the house, know that the person you're looking for is in the house. You're supposed to have already done that.
I think it's a thrill of the hunt.
We went to XYZ house because we know XYZ person is there on this day. Let's hit the house because we've been surveying that he or she comes home at 7 o'clock. So we're going to hit them at 7:15 because they ain't expecting us to hit them at 7:15. So we know this is their house. So that tells me you have not looked at this house enough or even surveyed this house to know that only this woman lives at this house.
Exactly.
What if her grandkids
Right. What if her grandkids had been there? What if she that company? What happened to, and Sean, you know I'm right, we're supposed to preserve life. That's the reason why when people ask if we're in a crowd and somebody starts shooting, officers can't just open fire into the crowd. You know why? We have to preserve life. I can't just start shooting and now shoot Heidi and Rachel and I'm saying, oh, I'm sorry, I was trying to get the shooter. We're supposed to preserve life. That means making sure surveillance, making sure who's in the house, who's not in the house, what's going on, blah, 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 this, and not making these mistakes where you have a Breonna Taylor.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just a kind of the thrill of the hunt too, because they don't have to treat us as human beings, because the first thing that somebody should have did was went and got her a covering, but also the person that they were looking for, they captured an hour later. So with Breonna Taylor, they already had the suspect in custody. And then on this one, they went and got who the right person, went to the right address later and got their person. So, you know, these things wouldn't happen if they respected us as people, if they respected us as human beings, had that compassion and empathy that I don't have for Trump supporters. But if they had did that, we would have different stories.
Well, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. How come the very wealthy or the elite or the perceived powerful, they're given the opportunity to be escorted out back doors, have the handcuffs in front of their body so then they can have a coat draped over and you can't see handcuffed? They somehow manage to do all of this if you have some sort of perceived power, and that power even about like at least being perceived as a human. That's how people who hunt animals actually treat their kill often better than they treated this woman.
Yeah, and I was just about to say something. I forgot. Sorry.
It's gonna come back.
It was
gonna
good.
come back. That's the reason why I truly 100% support Carol's law. Because number one, it says as a police officer, you have a duty to intervene if you see something going wrong with another officer, if it's excessive force, if it's one of those officers should have said, okay, we didn't went through the house. We know ain't nobody else in here. Let me go get this woman a gown. Of course, I get it. When you first go in, you're not sure if you thinking you in the right house. Okay, we didn't clear the house. Ain't no other threat in here. I'm not gonna leave this butt-naked woman standing up here with cuffs on. I'm gonna get up and say, ma'am, I apologize. You know, let me put something around you. Now you sitting here, and I guarantee she probably sat in cuffs for a minute until they finally said, aha, we're at the wrong house. And the only thing they probably said, I'm sorry, I had a job to do. Then they get
if they said sorry. If they said sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somehow it was probably her fault that they didn't know how to read the address.
Yeah, I was going to say what I forgot what to say was, you know, the rich, the elite, the wealthy are given dignity with their arrest.
Yep.
And that gets into that social ranking of humans. And we see it over and over again, especially when we see it within wealth and power. And then you see it broken down by race.
Yeah. And my thing is the Breonna Taylor thing is so fresh. This just happened in February too. Why is this happening so fast? Like this is continuing to go on. Evidently, we're not doing enough.
Yeah.
We're not doing enough.
They don't care. If they know they're not going to be held accountable, they don't have to care. And that's the thing.
And accountability is so important. It's so important because how can you ask one group of people to hold their group accountable and you're not doing the same for your own?
Because it ain't about that. Do as I say, not as I do. Do as I say, not as I do.
And honestly, that's not
the officers accountable that killed Breonna Taylor. Had that particular situation turned out differently, this situation may have turned out differently because, oh, we don't want to get caught in that same trick bag. We better check, double check, do what we're supposed to do before we go into this house.
I mean, have an officer that's on duty just ride down the street and look at the number on the house. Just move. And I mean, I hope that y'all ride down the street sometime, because if you don't, that's a problem. So it shouldn't be something that alarms people. Just have a police officer or get an undercover, just ride down the street, make sure the address. I don't care if you got to say, I'm gonna remember this house because it got a red toe on the front of it. Something, and it just That angered me, but it also scared me. Because if it happened to her, if it happened to Breonna Taylor, it can happen to any last one of us that's on this live right now.
Yeah. And that's the thing, they don't care, and they know that they don't have to care because people are going to back them. Because how many seconds would have taken just to make sure you had all the paperwork in line? They don't care. They didn't even care to do that because they just knew they was going to a Black person's house.
That accountability, and like what Sean was saying, where was the surveillance? Where was crossing your, as a professor, I'm held to a higher level of expectation of making sure I get it right before I accuse a student of plagiarism, of if I have to be able to justify every single grade I give. I'm not also making or breaking lives. I mean, I guess you could make the argument about like future careers. But we're talking about whether or not I live or die.
Right.
And I mean, just the sheer trauma she had to suffer from that, the embarrassment. Guarantee you she's going to require some kind of trauma support after that. Do you know how terrifying that would be?
Yes. And y'all stop talking about, I hate it when I see people say, oh, she's going to get paid. Money don't stop. You still go through the PTSD. You still go through the,
right.
You know what I'm saying? That when people talk about PTSD and stuff, it's real. It's so real. And some of y'all that don't believe it, it's real.
Yeah. You never know what would she might be okay and going through life all right, and something could just
allow noise. I mean, you were in your home where you thought was safe. And then next thing you know, your home is being not broken into, but yeah, technically being broken into with a battering ram, and you're butt booty naked, minding your own business. And people are shouting commands at you, pulling guns on you, where you are defenseless.
Would this be considered trespassing? Or is it because, like, first of all, did the address match up the address on the warrant?
No, it was the wrong address.
So wouldn't this be trespassing?
No, that would be breaking and entering.
So then they should be charged as such, at the minimum.
But because they were acting under the color code of the law, they were acting in line with their duties, they will never be charged with that.
This is where our problem is.
Color code of the law is harm Black people.
That's where we need to start. This is
right. Well, color code of the law, yes, it
Talk about what you said yesterday about how you said if we start having to hold them accountable for certain things, where if you break the law, that kind of goes away.
Yes, I really want to implement a law that says when a police officer intentionally, because some of them are intentionally doing this stuff, y'all. I'm telling you. Intentionally steps outside of the code of conduct or of the color code of the law. So if we start making a definition of fear for my life, I believe that when officers say I'm in fear for my life, we need to put some it need to be certain things elements to this thing, because some of us is just scared of our own shadow. Some of us is scared of Black people anyway, especially Black men. How can you be a cop if you're in fear of the people you're supposed to serve? You can't do that.
But if your intent ain't serving them, your intent is to brutalize and terrorize
or you scared of them. And you know, when you scared of something, you fear something, you do drastic things. So I believe you need to have some kind of definition of what in fear for my life means. So if you step outside of that and you say, oh my God, I didn't see a weapon, but I was in fear for my life because he jumped out of the car and I shot him. What? Well, you stepped outside of all these things. As far as I'm concerned, you weren't acting as a law enforcement officer. You were acting as a vigilante. You should be charged just like anybody else that would have pulled a gun on an unarmed male or female and shot and killed her. You need to be electric chair, everything need to be, because then you will start making officers become more accountable. When I got on the police force, you know, my biggest fear was going to jail. I kept saying, I don't want to do nothing wrong, man. I don't want to go to jail, because people would be like, you know, the worst place for a cop to be is in jail. And I'm like, oh my Lord, Jesus, I don't want to be in jail. I mean, I'm a cute girl and I'm a fighter, but Big Bertha might get me in there. My mind, I'm so serious. Now it's a joke. A cop going to jail is a joke.
Right. Yeah.
It's a joke. Oh, they're
Because
not.
I don't. This
Right.
goes right back to what you were saying. You said 4 years ago that if you are racist or you hold these biases, you should not be working in these communities because you're unable to actually do your job.
Right.
One of the job requirements and duties is for you to protect and serve. And if you are unable to do it, then we need to be holding these officers accountable. You can't do it, you can't work here. Period.
Period. And
We
it's
just
so
keep letting
funny.
people through.
It's so funny because this is the opposite of what happened to both and Jean.
But
Ain't this deep? Because she walked in the house and said she thought this was her apartment.
Ah,
Now
good
you
point.
got officers kicking in the wrong door, going to houses for a arrest warrant for a person that already was arrested an hour. How do you make these kinds of mistakes where people are losing their lives, but these officers are still keeping their jobs? I'm confused.
Let me interject. Sean said he must have been doing some research. Thank you, Sean, for doing the little side research.
Yes.
He said the confidential informant allegedly gave the police the wrong address. Officers are supposed to verify the information and location,
Yeah.
such as via surveillance.
I'm like, they still have a job to do.
That's no excuse. If you were given the wrong address, it's still up to you to say, is it the right or wrong address?
Absolutely.
You still have to check. So we just taking
I was gonna say you don't get to pass the buck because at the same time, and we could be given real information and being told that, well, we had to verify it first. That's why we didn't act on it. It's called hypocrisy. And what they're doing and what I'm seeing over and over again is, well, we protect ourselves on this end if we're in the wrong. But if we enter the apartment and we're wrong and we shoot the wrong person, but this is why we're protected. It all comes down to we have a protected class of citizens known as the police, and they're the ones who are supposed to be protecting us.
And not being funny for officer safety. Sean, you know that they should have checked it. What if I was an informant that done flipped on y'all and set y'all up and when y'all go in this house, people start shooting y'all or blow up or anything. You're not even thinking about your own safety because you have a lot of young officers that get on the force and they be, oh, I want to make an arrest. Oh, and then you have some of the older officers, instead of teaching them better, yeah, we're the elite. They do what we say. You so hyped, but you won't get in the community to help feed the homeless. You won't stay over and serve in the community when they ask you, can you come to the soup kitchen? You won't you don't want to sit at the hospital and I don't want to do this report because you don't want to, but you let them say, oh, we're going to kick in the door. We're going to do an arrest or we're going to a big fight. Yeah. What is wrong with y'all? You in the wrong profession. If you became a cop to make arrests and a fight you're in the wrong profession. Go to MMA because you can fight all you want to. That's all the time. If you want to always be in front of your enemies and all this stuff, go to the military. They would love you. Stay there.
Action over there.
But the difference is there's also more expectations about rules of engagement and conduct within the military than there is in the own police force.
But the police force is supposed to be paramilitary. No. I've gotten told off on the carpet, like, you don't go above my head. You come to me first, and then you go to chief. But why would I come to you when I know you don't like me? So I sent a memo and said, I want to speak to the chief. Well, I'm supposed to. No, you're just arrogant. And you want to be paramilitary when it's good for you, but when it's not good for you, it's a problem. And I hate that it's affecting men, but it really bothers me when I see a woman and men and women are now out. I'm outraged watching that. That's somebody's mother, somebody's grandmother.
We just had the Breonna Taylor, especially because we just had. And let's not forget a Tatiana.
Yes.
Let's not forget a Tatiana.
Yes.
And Botham John.
That's right.
She said he should obey my commands.
In his house.
When you busted in his house.
He didn't obey my command, so I shot him.
In my house. And then when instead of the police coming out saying, you know what? We messed up. We apologize to your family. We apologize, blah, blah. What did they do? Oh, we found weed in the house. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
I'll never do it. I'll never admit it. It's a pride thing. They're not going to admit it.
Look, and I pray that they didn't find nothing in this woman's house, even though it wouldn't be admissible, because trust me, they'll throw that out instead of saying, we messed up. We're not perfect. We messed up. We went in the wrong house. Thank God we didn't take a life. Thank God nobody got hurt. But we did scar this woman, and we owe her something. Every last one of them officers that was in there need to go to that woman and humbly apologize. It ain't nothing about saying you're better, they're better than, or this was my job. It's all about being a human being. How would those white officers feel if a bunch of males bust in on their wives like that, or their daughters?
And when they apologize, don't expect forgiveness. That's not a real apology. Be willing that she can be forever mad at you. What I hate when then like people do this like very performative apology, and then they're like, see, no, that's not genuine. An apology, if I do somebody wrong, I apologize, and I have to take the repercussions that they may never get over it.
That's right. That's right.
I apologize, but there's no one. I'm sorry that this happened. If such and such would no, you were wrong.
Don't qualify it.
Nope. It's black and white. Apologize.
I apologize. Right. I apologize. We came to the wrong house. I know that we traumatized you. Let her know that you feel her. I know we traumatized you. We handled the thing wrong. We should have at least let you cover yourself. That's all I can say is I apologize. I have no excuses because I'm supposed to be the professional.
Right. But isn't that the problem that we have with so many other things? That it's because there's never accountability. Nobody ever takes freaking accountability. And like, I know we're talking about this particular situation, but let's think about it even racially, right? Oh, just get over it. Oh, let's just move forward. Oh, no, where's the accountability? Where is somebody saying, this is horrible, I'm sorry, and then being okay that people aren't going to just get over it? Stop telling people to get over it. I mean, we've seen it in this situation, or maybe not even seen an apology, but we see it over and over again culturally, and we wonder why there's so many divides, because nobody's willing to just eat that humble pie and have to just say, you know what, I'm sorry. It's just like, I mean, we've talked about this in terms of like privilege, even just being able to say, recognizing a system that you benefit in. All of this is interconnected. It sounds like we're talking about different topics, but they're all interconnected. Own things, recognize your position on the landscape. Be willing to recognize that not everybody has to just be like, well, Heidi said it, so, you know, we're all better now. No.
That's right.
Deal with the pain, deal with the trauma. This woman is traumatized. In all honesty, at this point, it's like, none of this is new. None of it was new, and I'm tired of it.
Right, and it shouldn't be normal. It's almost where it's a normal. Oh, blacks are out killing each other. That's normal. The black 19 young men killed, it's normal. That's not normal. Something is wrong with us because we think it's normal. It's not normal for law enforcement to be busting in people's houses. We got the wrong house. We left her butt naked. And I guarantee you some of them officers made jokes about it because I've been there. Absolutely. I've been on the other side when we went into the old lady's house by mistake because my sergeant was too cocky and wouldn't wait, and we kicked the door in on some kids and and it's a joke. That's not a freaking joke. That's not funny.
No, it's not funny at all.
It's not, because now we've traumatized these people. They may not ever look at the police again the same. And those are the people I'm supposed to be able to run to the police when I feel like I can't run to nobody else.
But that trust is gone.
The trust is gone. That's because the respect is gone.
Yeah. And also you destroy somebody's property that they have to pay for.
No, they'll pay for it.
They make them go through heck or high water to do that. But also too, you know, the FBI put out a report about the increase of white supremacists in law enforcement. So, you know, these are the vestiges of that behavior that we're seeing on display.
And my question to law enforcement is, when I went through my background check, you asked me who I slept with.
Ooh.
You almost asked me what color my panties was. But y'all can't figure out these white supremacists. Get out of here.
Or the right address.
Get out or the right address.
No, they already know. They don't even have to ask the question. They already know.
They already know each other. And that's why it's still important for us to support good law enforcement. I don't care what they look like, black, white, green, orange. It's so important because what we don't want to do is start making these good law enforcement officers feel like we hate everybody and they say, forget it and get out. Now, what is that police department going to look like for real? We think we see terrorist actions and different things that they do. Oh, we really going to be in trouble.
That brings us all the way back to the topic that you were talking about earlier today. When these good police officers do stand up and when they do speak out, are we supporting them? Because they don't want to do that because they're not being supported. It's a whole trickle down effect of a whole loop of other things that just kind of all go together.
Well, and it's that same thing that you all have talked about multiple times, Sean Kennedy, Stan Mason, Joe Mosley, LaRonda Young, about where's the whistleblower protection? What are we doing to support our officers who are trying to call out officers who are doing wrong or abusing or misusing their positions of power? But we don't have any systems in place. And then we end up in this situation where we talk about silence as complicitness, which is true. But then there's also the component of, if I speak out, we're not just talking about people threatening, like, you know, you may not get the promotion. We're talking about entire livelihoods being threatened, people's lives being threatened, people's children being threatened. And then we look at these officers and say, well, why didn't you speak up? And this is where those of us who are not officers need to be really pushing for legislation about protecting our officers to do the right thing. And not just solely, we can't keep just writing it off as just bad officers. Yeah, there are a lot of freaking bad officers. There's a whole culture. Clearly, I'm ticked about it. But at the same time, what are we doing to support the culture of good officers? People shouldn't be facing these repercussions. It shouldn't be that we can name the few officers who are speaking out. This is a problem.
And I don't think the department should get to pick and choose. Now, if you speak out, it's worse than if you beat a man in handcuffs or shoot somebody. They'll fight harder for you if you beat a man in handcuffs or something crazy than if you speak out. If you speak out, you out there on your own. And I want to just say something. Some of these law enforcement officers that really got some messed up thinking. I was talking to a retired officer and she was saying how she was talking to officers and saying how officers speaking out and how they're not supported. And a female officer said to her was, well, they should know where their help comes from. Why would you speak against the people in blue? They got your back. So you're basically saying that I'm supposed to go along and get along. Well, let me explain something to you. I know an officer personally in East Cleveland that got jumped on, and these males were going to kill him. The community came out. The community, the Wymore boys came out like, no, you're not gonna do that. Not up here. Y'all ain't even from up here. These are officers. This officer's good to us. That man would have got killed. He would have died. So don't tell me the community won't come out. It's just like now the community is watered down. You'll praise us with your mouth, but you won't praise us with actions. There's no way in the world Carrier Horn should have been fired. And now this woman got 5 children and she can't get her pension. But you got white male officers and some blacks and another white female officer that took a life. And some of them have had the opportunity. You can resign or we can fire you. You didn't give it to none of us. How are you? There's no reason why, because we're Black women. There's no reason why Nakia Jones should not have retired from the city of Warrensville Heights. Here, we're going to just call a spade a spade.
Whistleblower law that we are currently should be the umbrella for the Nakia law.
Absolutely. We're going to start making change that's going to affect generation after generation, y'all. We cannot continue to go backwards. We are digressing as far as I'm concerned. We are starting to digress. I've never seen nothing like this before in my life. I never thought in my days I would see so much racism. I never thought in my days I would see so many blacks killing blacks. I never thought that I would be afraid to walk in a white community or a black community. I don't know where I'm safe at. I never thought that I would be saying to y'all, I get it. when some whites say they don't want us in their neighborhoods because of some of our behavior. Just like how many of us judge all law enforcement because of 1 or 2 bad cops or 10 cops. It's the same way they look at us as African Americans because of some of the behavior of some of our young Black men slaughtering each other and killing each other and chopping bodies up. Who does that? Who does that? So you wondering why they don't want you in their neighborhoods. I wouldn't want you there either. We got to start taking accountability for ourselves as well. And until these Black men start respecting these Black women, you're going to see the stuff that just happened with that kicking in the door at the wrong door and this woman butt naked. Because if these Black men stood up in the power that they should be in, they would be afraid that they'd be like, put something on her because, man, we already know this is about to be a problem. The NAACP, I talked about all these Black organizations. They should be going to her aid right now. Like, oh, hell no, we gonna shut this whole police department down. We gonna get some answers. And you gonna give her a public apology. You publicly humiliated her, give her a public apology. I'm sorry, y'all. That heated my firecracker. I was on fire, y'all. My body warm. My body warm.
That heated your firecracker?
It heated my firecracker, y'all. It heated my firecracker. That's my new word.
I've never heard that.
When you get heated, baby. We like it when you get heated.
Y'all just like for me. Look, and Rachel be sitting back like, she about to go off.
She like, here it goes, here it goes.
And then Heidi do like this. This is Heidi. And then Jocelyn, you be like,
yes, I be
that one's getting you all pumped up.
Like tick, 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 boom.
oh my God. We want to thank you all so much for joining us. We hit 9 o'clock already. First, I just like I said, we're grateful. We have so many new things coming ahead for next year. Heidi, we didn't get to talk to you about it, but I know Rachel knows. You all, we're asking you to share. Follow the Real Officer Nakia Jones page. When these policies come out, when these new laws are out, you will hear it here first. This is a place where we're going to be transparent. We stand for right, no matter who is for or against. If you're doing something wrong and you're a civilian, we'll call you out. If you're doing something wrong, you're a cop, we'll call you. If you're a politician, we'll call you. It don't make a difference. This is a place where everybody can feel safe and can say they're going to be fair. So I'm grateful. Please follow us. Please follow. You ask all the time, how can you support? Follow us. Wisdom is power, and there's power in numbers, and change the mindsets of people. I don't care if you don't have to agree with us, but I hope that something we say make you think a little different or have a little compassion for somebody else. That's all. That's all we're asking. We're not asking you to agree with everything we're saying. We're trying to make a difference. God bless, and I'll turn it over to my co-host.
Well, I'm going to go. Look at me jumping in. I was gone. I'm going to jump in. And that's because, Nakia, you were talking about what can we do? And we didn't get to talk about it a lot today, but Nakia came and talked to my classes. And she brought up about police reform. And this is a freshman, first semester freshman. And they all read Nakia's book, and they had a chance to talk to Officer Stan Mason, and then they got to talk to Nakia. And she blew their world open. They have been incredible. And she challenged them to all come up with a suggestion of 10 things to help with her efforts and work with the congressional efforts of defunding the police or refunding the police or auditing or reallocating. Well, they decided to take it upon themselves to make this their final group project. And they could have been done last Thursday. Instead, they met Tuesday. They're meeting again on Thursday, and I have a whole nother class. They broke it up into themes. They're identifying the research. They have all taken this initiative, and they all have said everything from some of my more conservative students who have said, like, wow, Nakia made me think differently. Like, I hadn't really thought about other people in these other perspectives. And she made me really challenged to understand community perspectives that maybe I'm not from and I've never been exposed to. To students who have been 100% F the police, I'm not about this life, I don't want anything to do with them, to, wow, maybe there are good officers out there. and she has motivated them. So I say that to say, I'm watching first semester freshmen motivated into action they could have been done. And then those of us who are in education, really any of your jobs, stop and think about other ways you can incorporate this conversation, help empower people. Rachel came to my political resistance class. She has a whole bunch of radical students right now that are like, I'm going to be like Rachel, I'm going to speak out. We need to we have a responsibility to really challenge the people that we're around, whether that's our coworkers, our students, our family members. That's what we can do. We can challenge them to start thinking outside the box. I had a student tonight say, well, we want to like be able to have conversations with the police, but what does that mean? Like, shouldn't the police also approach us about wanting to have those conversations? And I was like, why are you waiting for them? And they're like, you're right. We got to do it.
Waiting forever.
Exactly. And it's just about, we all have the opportunity of doing action, but sometimes we forget that we can also be passing that message on, and that is action in itself. And so that's what I want to challenge everyone to do today. Rethink it, because man, Nakia, you're a hero right now. These first semester freshmen are like, Nakia, I had people calling her a shero. Oh, I didn't know I liked officers. And then I had one student that Nakia had noticed on the video because she virtually presented, was shaking her leg real fast. And this student is also a Black female. And Nakia just made a mention of it, not like in a way that made her feel uncomfortable or anything. And later that same person was writing about, that's the first time I saw a woman that looks like me, a Black woman that looks like me, that's speaking about the same community I'm in. I never knew that there were people out there doing it. People make differences. Tap in, like as educators, sometimes it's easy for us to think that we have it all figured out. Tap into the people who are experts. Sean Kennedy's on here. He was talking to my class. Tap into the experts. Bring them in. We can start making a difference in any position we're in. So I know that was a big plug, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, you're muted, Nakia.
I said thank you, Heidi, and I'm not being. This doesn't matter, but the dynamic in her class, I thought she was joking. There was only one Black student in each of her classes, and when I tell you, the rest of them were white, maybe Hispanic, I think,
and a couple among students.
Respectful. They were amazing, and they made me feel I was humbled. They made me feel welcome. So thank you, Heidi, and I'm grateful. And you guys helped me get over the hump. That was my first time speaking after Marianne.
Oh, you got over the hump with a vengeance.
You gonna go, Ray?
Sure. So when Heidi had me with her class, Heidi mentioned my driving, and we mentioned my speeding tickets. And unfortunately, I had to leave class early because I had to go on air, do my show. And I hadn't realized I was on mute. So some car did something that pissed me off, and I cursed and was honking the horn, and the students heard me because I forgot to be on mute. So it kind of did provide evidence to what she was saying, but that person did something. That's what justified that behavior. But Nakia, I want to give you a shout out for your mention in BET about officers doing something. So I'm super proud of you. And, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to work with you in this capacity, to do what I can, but watch you and what you're doing to inspire others and to exact change. So, super glad for you that BET reached out to you and documented that, and you are a change agent. So even though you're not being a police officer right now, you are changing lives in so many different ways that you don't even know. So thank you for that. And it's an honor and privilege to be able to work with you, and congratulations.
Thank you. Y'all ain't gonna make me cry.
Yeah, you
maybe a little. We still got Jocelyn to go.
I know. Jocelyn might start crying too, though. They feel the same thing.
I just wanted to, I just want to say a couple of things. First thing I wanted to say is thank you, everyone, all of our viewers. Thank you for all the continued support of Voices of Vision, as well as support of Nakia. Ultimately, this group, wouldn't be who we are without Kai. So we just want to thank you. We want to thank you for all the support. We know that we have a long way to go, but we making some headway. Right at the end of 2020, straight on into 2021. And with that being said, I want to let you guys know that Kai has 2 shows that she's going to be appearing on. The first one is, and they're both on December the 26th, which is a Saturday.
My birthday. My birthday.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, then that means you won't forget. Okay. We want all of our listeners and our viewers to please tune in. Nakia is going to, tell her heartfelt story. I've posted the flyer on our page. The first show is at 9 a.m. and it is a Facebook Live as well as radio show. You can tune in to WUFO Power 96.5. And then the second show is just radio. Buffalo on Fire is the name of that show, and that's at 10 a.m. I will post the flyer again on our page. Please, everyone, please support. We know that you guys love Kai, and this is one of the ways that you can show her your support. Make sure that you tune in. That's December the 26th at 9 a.m. for the first show and 10 a.m. for the second show. And we'll post a number. We welcome all of our callers. There might be some questions you have for Nakia that you haven't been able to ask her before about her story, or just general questions about things that she's doing right now, what she's involved in. We try to keep everybody up to date on the page, but there might be just some things that you might have missed and some questions you might have always wanted to ask her. So this would be your opportunity to do that. And attached to that flyer is the phone number for you to be able to call in. So we hope that everybody will support, as well as make sure that when you are following the Real Officer Nakia Jones page, you turn on the notifications so that whenever we go live or we have any announcements, you'll be the first ones to find out. So we just want to say thank you again, and I'll turn it over to Kai.
I want to say that these 3 women are my pillar. I don't do this alone. There are some days when I don't want to get on here because I'm just drained, or I'm tired, or I'm I see something and it sets me off, but I can pull from Rachel, I can pull from Jocelyn, I can pull from Heidi, and they continue to encourage me. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And so I want to tell them thank you, and they mean the world to me. Every last one of y'all give me a little. Rachel give me the radical. Heidi gives me, come on now, the philosopher, and we're going to get you. This is what you need to be doing. You need to write a book. You need to do. She keeps me together. Jocelyn is, come on, baby, you got to keep this together. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. You come on. I mean, they really keep me together, and we're only going to get stronger and bigger because I'm going to speak it into existence. This show is going to be nationwide. It's coming.
2021 will be the beginning of that.
Yes. I do feel that. I did want to shout out NABLEO, please, National Association of Black Law Enforcement Officers. I'm asking the community to please do some research and support that organization. They really are making a difference, and they're making positive change. NABLEO, please support financially, whatever way you can support us. Please support. They are an amazing organization. Amazing. I just wanted to make sure I said that. Carrio's Law. Everybody, every state should be pushing for Carrio's Law, which means that an officer has the duty to intervene if they see another officer using excessive force or doing something against Carrio's Law. Everybody hashtag Carrio Law, Carrio Horn. We love you. We love you, sis. We love you. We love you. We love you. We support you 110%. God bless you all. We thank you again, and good night.
Bye.